Well, as many of you know, we had a split on the road this weekend, a tough 5-game match down at Southern Illinois, and it was really a combination of a few things. First of all, I thought Southern played a great match. I know last week I talked a lot about their offense, and when they're in system, they're very difficult to defend. And to be honest, I can't even remember maybe a handful of times where they weren't in system. So obviously their offense was really effective. But the other side of that is I thought they really stepped it up defensively. We talked last week about them being a very good blocking team, and they definitely did a lot of nice things blocking, but they also, their backcourt played better than I've ever seen them. Their libero was all over the place. It was her last home weekend. She's a senior, and she definitely stepped it up. So just it wasn't just their offense, it was their defense as well. And for us, a team like Southern Illinois that runs the kind of offense they do, and when they're in system, it just really puts a lot of stress on your defense. You basically have to match up one-on-ones and hope to get touches in the backcourt, and we just weren't getting the touches that we needed. I thought we had moments of really, really good play, but it was just nothing that we could sustain just because of the stress that we were having with their offense. And unfortunately, last week I talked about how we didn't let one part of our game affect the other. I thought we weren't as good at that this week. You know, it kind of went into our offense. We really wanted to force some things that weren't quite there for us. Got a little bit impatient, and unfortunately it ended up we were on the losing side of that because of some of those things. But I give our kids a lot of credit. You know, they really never gave up. They were trying really hard to make the adjustments that were needed, but just really had a lot of trouble executing some of the things against their offense. We turn around against Evansville and play a very different team, and I have to give Evansville a lot of credit. They have had some huge adversity over the last few weeks. They were basically playing without a setter. Both their setters were hurt, so they had one of their star outside hitters that I talked about last week setting for them. So basically it was just high balls everywhere, and they do have some pin hitters that can handle that, but I thought they really did a nice job of fighting hard, and I give our kids a lot of credit because it was a match where they definitely could have got very casual because of what was happening on the other side of the net. But I thought they worked really hard to make improvements from the night before and really work on our side of the net, improving our game. So I give them a lot of credit for being able to do that, especially after how they were feeling after Friday night. So we head into this weekend, and even though we did have the loss this weekend, Missouri State got beat by Wichita, so we still are sitting in second place. Wichita State and Missouri State right behind us, and then Indiana State, the team we play on Friday, is right behind them. So a big weekend for us. These are two teams that on the road we lost to, and obviously we have a lot that we need to prepare for to get ready. Last time we talked about them, if you remember, we really struggled with the serve and pass game. Definitely got outdone in both of those categories, so that's an area that obviously we have to be better at. Indiana State, to me, is that fiery team that just can get on rolls. They like to run their middles when they're in system, and then they have a couple pins that can do a lot of damage as well. They're one of the top serving teams in the conference, so obviously that's going to challenge our passing game, and definitely will be an area of focus for us this week. Illinois State is still undefeated. We have Illinois State on Saturday, so a very veteran team. They have 4 seniors playing. They're playing with a lot of confidence. First and second in every stat category that is possible, that they keep stats for. So just a very solid team. They rely on their defense. They don't make a lot of mistakes. But we're looking forward to preparing for both these teams this weekend. And obviously it's a big week for Eryca. It's hard to believe that it's our last regular season home weekend, but she's just done so much for our program, and we're really looking forward to honoring her. She's that kid. She walked on and has been able to push and get to a position where she's really been an impact player for us over the last couple of years. So really proud of Eryca, and we'll get the chance to recognize her in front of our great home crowd, what I know we're going to have this week, because obviously we're pushing that. We'd love to have a huge crowd this weekend to help us take on these two very tough teams. Any questions?
How tough is it going to be to try to lock down a 2 seed and vie for the tournament with just how tight that area of the standings is?
Yeah, I mean, obviously this year I look at it, the 6 teams are basically they're decided. We know which 6 teams are in the tournament, but where they fall 1 through 6 is, I think, wide open. Obviously, having a 1 or 2 seed this year is really important, just to not have to play that quarterfinal match. I think because of the caliber of play from all the teams would be very important. And we have to take care of business on our side. Obviously, if we can win out, we have that second place position. But there's a lot of big matches to be played yet, for sure. Not just ours, but throughout the conference.
With losing to both those teams on the road, what are some of the biggest changes you need to make to turn the table this weekend?
Well, I think if you just look at the matches that we played on the road, our serve and pass game was the biggest difference in my mind in those matches. And so obviously that's huge, but that is something that we have to be better at when those things aren't working for us. We still have a great defensive team that we have to rely on a little bit more and not get frustrated with the serving and passing. Now, we've been serving very well the last few weeks, and even though I didn't mention this, but Southern passed really well, but we served tough. They were just playing very well. So we have been serving tough, so that's an area that I feel very strong. We're on our home court, so we're used to the serve and pass game in our home facility. So besides those two parts, I think just picking it up a little bit defensively, because I think that's the area that just seems to make everything run for us. Our offense definitely feeds off of that.
Bobbi, can you lay out for us how the tournament will go for Thanksgiving weekend?
Yeah, the quarterfinals, I don't have exact times, I apologize for that, but the quarterfinals will be on Thursday, and then the semifinals are Friday, and then the finals are on Saturday.
We don't know what time Friday?
5 and 7:30. 5 and 7:30 from the guy that knows. Yeah, and then I'm not sure what time the quarterfinal matches are, but is that the same? Same, and the same on Thursday. So on Thanksgiving, it's the same, 5 and 7:30. Saturday at 4 o'clock. Thank you, Colin. All right, thank you.